Oh, we're live. Oh,
That's a
thanks, Jim.
different webinar, Nick. That is a different.
We are live and we were just kind of talking about when we're getting our showingly tidy whitey swag in the mail because Tristan ordered tidy whiteys. He ordered smalls. He ordered child size.
Extra small. Extra small.
Oh, sorry, my bad.
Yeah, dude. Don't.
Okay, well, I guess I'll do the introduction
ahead.
so I don't look like so much of an idiot just now. What's up, Lab Coats? I'm Nick. I got Tristan here. We got the two dudes from Showingly. As you guys know, I got Jonathan and Andrew from Showingly. As you guys know, the showing management space is heating up because that company that starts with the letter Z purchased Showing Time. And so, that is making way for other options for agents and MLSs to kind of play around with and see if there's anything else out there that they could manage the showings of their listings with, so they're not paying Zillow more money. So that's why we have Jonathan and Andrew here with Showingly, and they've created a pretty sweet product that Tristan and I are fully standing behind. It's pretty innovative. So thanks for being here, guys.
Thank you. Yeah, happy to be here.
So tell us, what is Showingly?
I think first and foremost, I would say that while there's a lot of sentiment against Zillow, Showing Time, and all of that, as a company, we want to stand on being solid and value-adding and robust on our own right, and not stand on anyone's shoulders. And for that reason, yeah, you could ditch them because they don't have your interests at heart. But the reason we want people to go to Showingly is not because they're not going to them, it's because we're better. And so we've stood on that for the last few years in building things with agents in a live feedback loop, often in real time with some agents who come by the office, and we do these builds with agents in mind. And so that's, I would preface it with that. I'll let you.
Yeah, just in general, I think going off of what Andrew is saying is obviously home access management or showing management is kind of the sore spot for the industry right now. And off the hype of the recent sale, that's been a great opportunity for us to share our platform with the real estate industry. But overall, Showingly, we look to drive deep value in showing management and do it better than anyone else out there. And we're rapidly approaching a very cohesive showing management product in general as we get better day to day.
Well, one of the main differences I see with you guys is, there's not only an agent side, there's also a consumer side, right? And so like one of the things that I love is that, right now I think more than ever, more transparency throughout the process, not just through, the transaction, but like before the transaction, or like being in as much communication with your client as possible. I think, with Showingly, you have the agent portal and the client portal. You guys the two are able to kind of communicate right back and forth with what properties have been scheduled, what properties they want to see. Do I have that right?
Yes, and a step further as well. We've actually thought of how we built the consumer connection and client connection as an antidote to Zillow, because the most frustrating thing as an agent is when you take all the time to set up your MLS property drip through whichever MLS, whatever websites or whatever products you're using, and then the client ignores it and texts you a screenshot of a Zillow or Redfin or Realtor.com listing. And it happens every time. And and what we realized was you could build great technology for the agent or the consumer, but if you don't build great technology for both, you're going to lose one or the other. And so we built a consumer application where consumers will actually spend time on. They won't just go somewhere else and take screenshots. We've given them enough and a deeper value proposition, all with the agent at heart. In the application, they connect to their agent, and it's very unique.
I have a question, guys, in regards to to the overall picture of the company, because somebody jokingly said, so how much do you have to pay before you sell to Zillow? And so Nick put $1 million, which is kind of low, but you know what?
Well, because I want you to picture Dr. Evil saying $1 million.
I don't know if
That's a question that is on people's minds. Like, okay, at what point are you guys going to sell for 100, 200 to
First of all,
Zillow specifically, right?
they're going to sell to realtor.com. Let's get that straight.
Says no, at least $2 billion. Oh yeah, if you want to take it, you can.
Well, I was gonna say, even if you look at it from a business standpoint after the debacle that happened, because I get it, like our words are not enough, and we can say till we're blue in the face that that is not our intention, because it truly isn't. But on a business level, look at the breakage that happened with showing time. Look how many MLSs are ditching them now. If you sell to someone that is not with the interests of the agents and the stakeholders of the industry, you will have incredible breakage. And so any company looking at that is going to pay a lesser value than a company who was not adverse. And so right off the bat, even if we were to sell in the future, we would have an incredibly better time and a higher valuation selling to someone who had everyone's interests in mind. So right off the bat, I mean, it's, as a case study, that's in our favor right now.
Yeah, I think just expanding on what Andrew was saying, just here at Showingly, and particularly him and I, obviously being agents, really understanding the nuance and kind of the solutions that come in the industry and what really drives value and what doesn't. And I think we're tremendously passionate about really changing the industry and making it better. And that really is the vision. So, obviously any amount of money would cause anyone to think, but really our vision for the future of real estate is to really make an impact and make it better for the agent. And really just for the industry, MLSs, brokerages, you name it, consumers all around. We just want to make it better, a more efficient process, and ultimately optimizing the real estate industry as a whole.
I like that. Good answer, guys. All right. So what's next with Showingly? Because the world that you're in changes so fast. Like something is working right now. All of a sudden somebody comes in and says, wow, check out this other thing. This is even better. What are you guys working on to stay in front of that?
I would say the best part about having a platform that's a more critical infrastructure like showing management, where people kind of have to go and use it, is if you're already here and if you've done it well, you can add a lot of value in other areas that increases each area's value because they're talking to each other. And so there's less duplicate effort, less duplicate entry. That's why having a CRM inside of the product is so easy, because I can attribute showings back and forth. And I think as we start to look past the horizon of our short-term builds, anything that we see as innovative or value adding will fit really, really well into this ecosystem.
All right. So,
I just have a quick question. So, whenever something kind of groundbreaking or like kind of shocking, I guess, happens, like a company gets acquired by another company, there's always kind of like this, scrambling of, oh my goodness, what's going to happen? Is this the next big thing? And then you start to see all these other startups come up, right? Like kind of trying to solve this problem or swoop in and be the replacement. I just want to get more into the stuff that Showingly offers, because as you guys know, like Tristan and I don't ever, get excited about a product unless we really get excited about a product. So I want to show people like why, we feel that this is kind of not a fad. Like there's, you guys have, really, like this is a real tech platform, like a lot of the other stuff is just kind of call centers, but this is like a real technology platform. So can we just jump in and, show how you guys are creating this technology for us?
Sure thing. I think that's a great idea. Let me share from my phone.
Yeah, and I think while Andrew's pulling that up, what he said earlier is being a part of the critical infrastructure just allows us to build off of that. And I think that's what we've done. Building off of showing management then allows you to add other products that drive value for agents. You know, you can do some neat things with consumers and home buyers, and providing, you know, as the home buyer begins to do things on one application, and that basically that data flowing into the agent application, and giving real live data to the agent and making that useful for the agent. And then also sharing that data from the agent app and the consumers all over to brokerages and MLSs and making it useful there. I think he's got it pulled up here. But yeah, we'll take you in and show you what that looks like. You know, from an agent perspective, also hop into the consumer application and show you, you know, when a consumer does something, how does it show up on the agent application as well?
Awesome. So jumping into the agent application, I know there's a question for, hey, what do you guys do? Because this all sounds nice, but we at our core are showing management. That is our core competency, our main product, what we've built for the longest time. And you can see it here in that right off the bat, it's incredibly simple. You load into a map view you're used to, and I can pan around, I can filter, I can search by address or MLS ID if I have a property in mind I'd like to schedule on. But once I find a property that I'd like to schedule on, you see here, it's a very similar view to what you're used to in popular home search. The difference is here I can schedule. And so in scheduling, I can see the listings availability. Let's say the listing agent said, don't allow overlapping showings, and there were conflicts, or they just blocked out times. That'll show up here. And then I can toggle on and off my own schedule in case I already had showings that I was doing and I want to plan it around some of those showings. I can choose the duration. I can add a client. And then here I can schedule it, or if I wanted to, I could queue it up. And if I queue it, then I can queue a whole bunch of them and then go to my queue and then set times, reorder them, and schedule in batch. So pretty straightforward in terms of the different buyer side functionality. If I go to the menu here and I go to my listings, you can see listings that you have automatically populating from the MLS. I can go in and I can configure them. And once I've configured them, I can go to this bottom one here and I can do a message blast. I can look at my showing history. If I want to share a link for my appraisers or inspectors or agents outside of my MLS, but in my market, then I can send them this link for them to schedule as well. So pretty much everything you would expect from showing management. And what's nice about that is it's in a platform, right? It's not just a product where you go there for showing management and then you get out because it's a headache and you're like, thank God I don't have to spend any more time here than I already have. But instead here, you can do a whole bunch of things. I can jump over to my CRM, and I don't have any clients here on the staging environment, but if I had them, I could see their activity, their favorites. I could log notes. I could look at anything that they're leaving on listings, like this listing is beautiful. That'll show up here. And then one thing we do really well is notifications. Yeah. I think notifications is something that is an ante to be in the game, but we also put them in a notification center. So in case you miss any text or emails or push and you lose track of them, that'll all show up here. And so you can always come back and look at what's there. Finally, this is what John has been mentioning with, we have all of this infrastructure set up. Now we can move in the brokerage. And so let's say I go to my brokerage here and I want to look at what my broker's been posting. And obviously this takes a little bit of input. If your brokerage chooses to use this is what you'd see. But if I go to the feed, they can do their events through here. I can look at poster engagement or training or anything of that nature. That's a little more broker oriented than agent oriented, but at the same time, bringing it here makes it easy for agents to not have to go elsewhere. And then you can see the roster of your brokerage. You can look at where you rank in your brokerage. You can look at the listings that other agents in your brokerage have as well. So
I like that, guys. So when somebody wants to join in and say, hey, I want this because this is awesome. Is this something that they can do individually, or does the whole MLS need to join? How does that work, or their whole brokerage?
So right now, we have been doing MLS-wide data agreements And it was easier data sanitization wise for us to do that. But we've been scaling our team pretty quickly, and we can support going directly to agents and brokerages now. And so now, if there's any of you where you're in a market we're not yet live, we are happy to say that if we have our team talk to you and we go to the MLS, we can get a feed from the MLS that you let them know you want to send us the data, and we can start operating immediately. So that is new as of actually this last week. So that's a great question. We can in fact service anyone that wants to be serviced.
So let me get this right. So like with the consumer app, it's essentially a home search site. It's branded to the agent or the brokerage. And when the consumer is on there and they're working with an agent, when they do request to see a property, that request goes to the agent's version of the app, and then they can schedule that showing right through the app without having to pick up the phone. It's just kind of a seamless process. And then can the consumer see when the agent has scheduled it? They get a notification, I would assume, right?
Yep. I think that's also hitting on a big point in that you could have 4 or more parties at any given point trying to manage a schedule. You have one or multiple sellers, you have one or multiple listing agents, you have the buyer agent, and you have one or multiple buyers. And if the game of telephone isn't already complex enough, trying to do it with technology that's confusing for older consumers who might not want to use a complicated technology, we had to take steps to make it so simple for every party, and then the notification process and information flow had to be incredibly streamlined as well.
Yeah, for sure. I love it. So when the agent goes to set the appointment, like, do they do it through the app? Is there a call center? Like, how is that done, that process?
You're saying when the buyer agent?
Yeah.
The
The client tells the agent through the app that they want to see the house.
Mm-hmm.
And then the agent goes and schedules the appointment. What's that process look like?
So if they schedule that appointment, it'll all go through the rules that the listing agent has configured, because it could be appointment required, it could be go and show. And so based on that, there may be a level of approval needed from either the listing agent or the seller, and the listing agent can say, hey, seller must approve, or hey, listing agent must approve, or both, or either. Once that's all handled, or if it doesn't need to be because it's a go and show, that showing will be confirmed, and then it will notify at both steps the sellers and the listing agents. It'll re-notify the buyer and the buyer's agent that the showing is confirmed as well.
Got it. Awesome. And there's no call center. It's all done electronically.
So June 1st, we're launching Showingly Plus, which has a little bit more advanced features in the CRM, as well as something we're really excited to unveil soon called Showingly Social, and call to schedule will be included in Showingly Plus. So if that's something that's important, it will be available. Our team is ramping up for that. So June 1st, we'll have call to schedule as well.
So what's Showingly Social?
Ooh, that's the top secret one. That's the secret sauce we have coming out. It's going to be great because you're going to be able to connect with other agents. We're thinking of calling it agent social instead of Showingly Social, because it really just is for agents to connect with each other, follow and unfollow each other. You can see your friends' listings. You can, if you follow someone and they get a listing, you'll get notified when they have more listings.
Oh, I saw that in the app when you were showing it to us. It indicated that someone followed someone else. So, okay. So let's say, so this is sweet. Okay. So let's say there's a huge team in your market and they bring on 40 listings a month, which a lot of these teams do, 40, 50 listings a month. So you can follow that team. And so whenever they have a listing that pops up, you'll get notified.
Yep.
Dude, that's sick. Like instantly notified. Like that is, dude, I'm like getting goosebumps. That's friggin' sweet. You know what I mean? Don't you, Tristan?
When I saw it, I was like, this is good. I like this. This is going to
is like, there's no quicker update to when a house hits the market than that. And so, oh, dude, I love it. What are the other features? I mean, you know, I know you want to get into it because it's kind of a secret sauce, but I love that idea. Let's not put anything else out there into the universe with that, but that's a great feature.
Question for you guys. There was one question of somebody setting it up. Hold on. Here it is. Steven or Stepan. What's up, Stepan? He says, I have successfully created my profile and was already messing around with the app and web version as well. I did notice that trying to link my current listing so that they can be used for scheduling, but the system won't let me get through the final setup. The button gets grayed out and won't let me finish connecting my listing.
So, and he also said, where can we get help if there's issues that need to be resolved? So for both of those, I would say support@getshowingly.com, or we have a support number. We can find it or have one of our guys potentially put it in the chat here. We'll get you the support number. Feel free to call and talk to someone live. I would say for that, if the button's grayed out, potentially it's because a required field was not entered. So in that case, try that. Otherwise, we'll have one of our support guys walk you through.
There's also, I think, a little bit of a confusion here. Paige Miller in the chat is asking, so wait, a buyer can set up their own appointments, but they can, no. So a buyer needs to be attached to an agent, right? In order to like request a showing, and then that showing gets sent to an agent. Download the app.
Is to request a showing, it would not go directly to the listing agent. It would go to you. And you can say, I like this time, I don't like this time, or I'm just going to cancel this because we decided something else, or I'm going to approve it, or I'm going to delegate it. Whatever you want to do with it, it passes to you, and then you move it along or don't at your discretion.
Right. So Paige, just so you understand, there's two versions of the app. One is your version as the agent. The other is your client's version. So when you have a client, you send them their version to download onto their phone, which is then branded to you. It's attached to you. So when they request to see a property through the app, that notification goes to you and you schedule the appointment. They don't do it on their own. They need to have an agent on the app with them. Hope that makes sense.
Sure.
Yeah, we're not Zillow.
Yeah.
Don't worry. We want very much for you to be involved in the process.
Yeah, a good rule of thumb for agents is anything that we do, especially with the consumer, we try to involve them at the center of that process and how it makes it more convenient for agents.
Yeah, I mean, everything we've done has been because agents asked us for it. For example, we used to wonder what to do when an organic consumer like showed up to the app without being invited from an agent. And agents wanted us to let that person request and have a lead pool for buyer leads. And ultimately, after talking to everyone, we went with my listing, my lead instead, because it's just what more agents want. I mean, there's some agents who are like buyer heavy, but ultimately it's the people with listings that need to have their listings respected. And so when an organic consumer comes to the app, if they say, hey, I don't have an agent, and we ask them twice on sign up, then they go to a listing and it would have a big, beautiful advertisement for the listing agent. And we don't sell that back to them. We don't charge the listing agent to get that lead. It's just their lead because it's their listing.
Sounds good to me, guys. All right. What are you excited about for the next month or two that you haven't told us that agents will absolutely love? Any small changes, any big changes coming?
I'd say the biggest one will be the admin functionality that we release. So we're going to let you have an admin that can mirror your account. So potentially if a TC or if it's just an assistant, I mean, anything related to anything on the app can be mirrored pretty quickly here. So that's coming out, I believe, mid-June. Yeah.
I love that, guys. That's good. Look, every time I talk to you guys are moving really quick and in the right direction, right? You have the eyes of a lot of amazing companies out there looking in and saying, wow, this is kind of cool. So I'm excited to see your growth because it's happening super fast. Carly says, how did you get to the list of announcements, Marcy? I don't see it on the app. I think that was for
In the brokerage hub. And in the brokerage hub, there's a feed, and it was in that feed. And this was a staging environment. So we had done this with our old brokerage color preferred. So if there's no announcements from your brokerage, which there probably won't be because the brokerage suite is just launching, probably wouldn't see it until then.
So I have a question. Oh, it's not a question, it's a comment. So, you know, you said like your MLS has to have a connection to this, or you said your brokerage could also have the connection too. So it's, I guess it is a question and a comment. So there's two versions, one for the MLS, and then also the brokerage. The brokerage can get one too if the MLS doesn't have a membership.
It's all centered around data to fuel the platform. So if the MLS has a relationship with us, that's great. We still have relationships with brokerages for products that service the brokerage. It's just
Okay.
if MLS doesn't want an integration, we can still operate there, but the brokerage will drive the MLS to provide us that data.
Got it. Okay. And the great thing I love about it is that, you know, the app for the consumer and for the agent, it's directly fed, the data is fed directly from the MLS, correct?
Yep.
Okay. So it's very up to date, which is great. We like to hear that. So there's a question from Ronald Moss. I believe he might be watching on Facebook. So what's it cost? What's the damage?
Right now, 0. Our showing management
I'll take it. I'll take 2.
is free of charge. It's really, it costs you nothing. There are things we're developing like Showingly Plus that in some markets will be $50 a month. With some feature releases, it might go up to $100 a month. We likely will have plenty of sales to bring it down to $50 a month. And then the showing management, if we start to develop relationships with MLSs, it'll remain free. Over time, we might charge a small fee to connect the listing, but not what Showing Time used to do, which was per listing per month. It would just be the listing period. It would be more nominal, but as of right now, it's all free.
So the perks to having your MLS integrate is that there's no fee. I mean, is there no fee per month? I mean, if the MLS has access to it, is there a fee for how many listings you run through there? Like, no? Okay, so the MLS covers the cost. That's the idea with that.
You know, it really depends on the relationship with the MLS. The ultimate rule of thumb is that if we are with an MLS directly, it's more likely that we'll keep it free because they've taken a lot of data sanitization overhead off of us. If we have to go directly to agents and brokerages, there's a lot more effort on our part, and in those markets we'll likely be the ones that end up costing per listing, but it wouldn't be a ton. And if there's an agent with say 50 listings a month, then we would probably give them a heavy discount. It's not meant to charge as much as it is just to cover costs.
Honestly, guys, that's what excites me the most. The ability for this product to be able to go to individual agents throughout the United States, not have to wait for the broker or the MLS board to jump on, because now you give me the power to be able to do it with my team or as an individual agent. And that's powerful. So I love that. Guys, I'd love to see that broken down the next round we do this. Kind of like saying, hey, here's where you start. Here's where you create your account. Here's where we go to next. I think that would be powerful for people to see.
Cool. Yeah. Let's we'll maybe get some kind of graphic for that, maybe screen share a little bit. To answer your question, Carly, as well, the one I was showing you was a staging environment. So even if though you're at the same brokerage, actual production environment is different. So that's why mine had stuff and yours wouldn't. But
Yeah, I dig it.
All right, guys. Well, look, anything else you want to add?
Yeah, well, if you want information, go. I'm gonna post the link right here in the chat on Zoom. Sandra on Facebook, can you drop the link in the chat on Facebook? That'd be awesome. Go to pages.showingly.com/show. Just click the link. That's we need a custom domain, guys. We need a custom domain. What is this? What is this?
Can it just be like showingly.com/LCA?
yeah,
How about
we'll get a
Showingly-
That'd be kind of good.
that should be-
We'll talk to Luke. He makes all the decisions.
All right, there's a couple of questions here before you go. Are you in California?
We are talking to, I think, 2 MLSs in California, but actually, if we want to expedite that, we could get direct feeds if brokerages request them in the meantime. So if there's anyone that wants to work with us in California, we need to just have our team and whoever you are chat with the MLS, get us a feed for you, and you'll be all set.
All right, cool. And then Zimena says, do you have a PDF with an explanation in Spanish?
Well,
Yeah, we
if
can do
you,
that, I think.
oh, you do?
It's not.
I was going to suggest the Google Chrome plugin for Google Translate will translate anything into any language. So you can just go to the website and do that.
Well, I'll tell you what, all of these things as well, if you email
Yeah.
support, get showing you call our support number that John typed in the chat here, you can get in touch with our team at any time, and
Yeah.
they will get you everything you need. As far as Massachusetts and New Hampshire, question from Paige, we are going live with PIN as early as Monday. I want to say it's in the next few days,
Yeah.
maybe next week, but yeah, we will be live in Massachusetts, New Hampshire, and all the other states that PIN operates in.
Dude, I'm going to see if maybe our region for KW out here can just jump on with you guys and just take on all of LA, Los Angeles, because
Just dominate.
we need you out here.
Cool.
I love what you guys are doing. Keep on doing it. All right, next round, let's go and show from beginning to end what it would look like for the single user so that people can visualize this better. You guys down with that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Easy enough.
All right, I love it.
I have one more question.
They're
I have
already
one
in
more
Miami, so you're good with that. Go ahead, Nick.
Is this being recorded?
You know, I don't know this one. Hold on.
I'm kidding.
I know. I love it.
Kidding.
We almost went through the whole thing without anybody asking.
Oh, nobody asked that, so I asked it for them.
Love it.
Whatever.
All right, guys. Thanks for joining us. Nick,
Thanks,
See you
guys.
later.
Thank you.
everybody.
See you later.
See you guys.
Thank you.